Hi. Y'all see the chat function over here? You can let me know when you get in. Hello. So I'm going to give everybody a little bit of time to get over here. We'll try to get started right at 5:30. I'll go test out my angle. Make sure I'm in frame. Let's see. Lift it up just a little. It's better. No, it's too close. Hello. Y'all come on in. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get us started. If you're going to try and play music, I've got my Spotify playlist over in the chat bar. It's right here on my screen. I don't know what it is on your screen. So we'll hit play together and we'll come to the mat. I'm going to play it from my phone because if I play it from the computer, I feel like it'll definitely pick up. Hey! Cool, Leah. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that you were here. And that's fine. Looking up so I can see what y'all are saying. All right, let's find my playlist. There we go. And I hear a lawnmower outside and my dog scratching at the bathroom window. So if you also hear those things, let's try not to let them distract us. They'll just be ambient sounds. Okay. My phone music gets distracting and it starts, I'll turn it down some more. Y'all just let me know. So finding our way to our mats. We're sitting up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders up, back and down. Ground through the tailbone, lengthening through the crown of the head. Shoulders soften. Letting our exhales ground us to the mat. Our inhales expanding the whole midsection. So breathing into the rib cage, into the belly, into the chest. And then exhaling, belly button to spine, rib cage in, chest lowering. We inhale to the belly, into the ribs, and into the chest. Taking over this 3-part breathing at our own pace. We might close our eyes or just drop the gaze to the floor. So just breathing intentionally, making this different type of breathing separate our practice from the rest of the day. I see some other people joining us. No problem. Says she's a minute late, but it's fine. Y'all come on in. And I like it when y'all let me know that you're here. I like to see those chats coming through. It makes me feel like I'm not just talking to my computer. So bringing lots of oxygen into our bodies, supporting us in the movements that we're about to do, and keeping us connected to the body. So we'll incorporate some movement now to the breath. We'll inhale, sweeping left arm up and over. Right hands can come to the mat, leaning to the side, getting a side body stretch. We're inhaling, switching to the other side, and exhaling as we lean into it. Inhaling through center, exhaling, reaching to the other side, flowing back and forth at our own pace. So whichever way we're reaching, the opposite hip is grounding towards the mat. Breathing. Noticing how it feels to move our bodies. So in our next pass through center, we'll meet here. We're interlacing the fingers and then flipping them out away from us. We'll reach out to the right, sinking left hip away. We're inhaling through center, so we're rounding through the shoulders, and then exhale, pressing away, reaching to the left, right hip sinking towards the mat. So we can kind of go back and forth, side to side, flowing with the breath, getting into the spine. Go a few more times. Just kind of rocking into it. And then meeting in center. Take hands to the knees. We'll drop right ear, right shoulder. Holding and breathing. If we want to take fingertips to the head, applying gentle pressure, we can. Inhaling through center, exhaling to the other side. Left ear, left shoulder. Once again, if we want to apply pressure with the fingertips, lightly. Inhaling to center, we're exhaling, tucking our chin to our chest. Might bring our hands to the back of the head. Inhaling back to center, facing forward, we'll roll the head back and forth, dropping ear to shoulder, inhaling to the front and exhaling, other ear, other shoulder. Flowing with the breath. Maybe we close our eyes. Go one more time. Meeting in center. We're inhaling as we sweep our arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling them in front of us as we rock to all fours. From our all fours position, we're walking our hands just a little bit further forward than our shoulders, spreading our fingers nice and wide. We're tucking the toes, lifting the knees off the mat, pressing our chest back towards our thighs as our legs straighten. Heels sink towards the mat. They don't necessarily need to touch. Hips reach high, heels sink low. Relax the head, lengthening through the crown of the head towards the top of the mat. Sliding shoulders down the back. We're inhaling, lifting the gaze. We'll exhale, walking the feet to a forward fold. Releasing the neck. Shaking out any tension in the head and the neck. Maybe shaking head yes and no. Swaying side to side to get into the low back. Or bending one knee and the other, getting into the hamstrings. We're inhaling, lifting halfway, finding a flat back. So hands can be anywhere from fingertips on the mat, hands on the shins, or hands on the thighs. So wherever we're most comfortable. But thinking about making the flat tabletop back, drawing belly button up and in, shoulders drawing away from the ears. You can place a small bend in the knees to avoid locking them out. So still using the muscles in our legs. Lengthening through the crown of the head and through the tailbone. So ideally, we would be looking straight down in our mats so that our neck stays protected in line with the rest of our spine. Exhaling, we'll release back to forward fold. Inhaling, we're coming all the way up to standing, hinging at the hips, sweeping the arms out wide, so core is engaged the whole way up. Exhaling, palms to heart, we're sinking back into chair. So as hips drop, we're keeping our weight in our heels. We look down, we notice our toes, that our knees are not extending out past our toes. Weight is back, shoulders relaxed, low back is neutral. We're inhaling, sweeping the arms up, straightening through the legs. Exhaling, diving forward, flat backs. Inhaling, lifting halfway. Exhaling, palms to the mat. We're bending our knees as much as we need to get us there. Inhaling, we'll step back into a plank position. So planks can be up on our toes or on our knees. Shoulders are stacked over wrists. We're exhaling as we lower in chaturanga all the way down to the mat. Shoulders roll back. We're inhaling, lifting up into cobra. Shoulders stay relaxed away from the ears, and we're lengthening from the low back and only lifting up as far as is comfortable. So maybe we stay down here. Maybe we come up higher. We're exhaling, lowering all the way back to the mat. Inhaling as we press up through all fours. And continuing our exhale, pressing back into down dog. We're inhaling, right leg out behind us. Three-legged dog. Exhaling, we're sweeping this foot to the top of the mat. Climbing onto your fingertips, extending the crown of the head forward. Inhaling, climbing to high lunge. Sinking into the lunge, shoulders softening. Strong gaze forward. We're exhaling, letting the hands come back down on either side of our front foot. Inhaling, stepping back into plank. Option to move through vinyasa or go straight to down dog from here. So if we would like to vinyasa to down dog, we lower in chaturanga, either knees or toes. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. So this is up dog. And then exhaling, making our way to down dog. We'll inhale, left leg out behind us, three-legged dog. Exhaling, sweeping the foot to the top of the mat. Knees stacking over the ankle, not extending past the toes, climbing onto fingertips. Inhale, lifting into lunge. We'll sink into the lunge. Back leg is straight and strong. Shoulders are soft. Finding our strong breath. Next, exhale, hands sweeping down either side of this front foot. Inhaling, stepping left foot back to plank. Option to vinyasa or go straight to down dog. Holding down dog. Maybe we pedal the heels out a little bit. Breathing deeply. We'll inhale, lift the gaze, walking the feet to a forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, finding flat backs. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling all the way to stand. We're exhaling, palms to our heart and lunging back with right foot. So staying up onto the toes. Feet are hip distance apart so we can make sure that we haven't accidentally walked a tightrope and landed back foot directly in line with our front foot, so that can help stabilize us. Left hip working back, right hip forward, back leg straight and strong. We're inhaling, letting the arms reach to the ceiling. Exhaling, we're spiraling open to warrior two. So back foot comes down. Arms are extending out at shoulder height, gazing over left middle finger. I'm using my playlist to keep us on track with time. So that's why I moved my phone there. We're inhaling, lifting, left hand towards the ceiling, right hand resting on back leg into reverse warrior. Gaze is lifting. We're sinking into this front leg. We're exhaling, letting left hand come to left thigh, reaching right arm up and over into side angle pose. So we're going to flow through this reverse warrior side angle pose a few times. So going at our own pace with our breath, we're inhaling, reaching back to reverse warrior, exhaling side angle. Inhale back, exhale down. So just go with the breath. The next time we find ourselves in reverse warrior, we'll all meet here together. Then we're exhaling as hands windmill down on either side of front foot. So left hand comes down on the outside of the foot, right hand on the inside. We pivot on our back toes. We inhale our left foot back to plank. Vinyasa, or go straight to down dog. So knees or toes as we lower in chaturanga if we're vinyasa. Inhaling cobra or an up dog. Exhaling to down dog. Inhaling, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, we'll step or we can hop to a forward fold. Inhaling, lifting halfway, flat backs. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling to stand. Exhaling, sitting back into chair. We're going to bookend our warrior flows with a little chair flow. So we're inhaling, back to standing, reaching the arms high. Exhaling, folding back into forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling, folding. Inhale, stand. Exhale, chair. Inhaling. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling, fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale, back into chair. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling to standing, hinging at the hips, core is engaged. Exhaling, palms to heart. We lunge back with left foot. Holding and breathing in this lunge. Back leg straight and strong. Up on the toes of the back foot. Shoulders are soft. Maybe we make these active prayer hands. Bringing elbows parallel to the wrists. Pressing the palms together. Notice the breath. Notice how the body is feeling. We're inhaling, letting the arms reach towards the ceiling. Exhaling as we pivot back foot down. Warrior two on the other side. So our right knee is tracking open towards the baby toe. Shoulders are stacking over our hips. Shoulders soften away from the ears. We're gazing over right middle finger. We flip the right palm open and inhaling as we tilt back into reverse warrior. Back hand resting gently on back leg, avoiding pressing into the knee. So we can stay as high as the hip. We can reach to the thigh. We can come all the way back to the calf. Maybe get a deeper stretch that way, but a light touch. Our core is stabilizing us here. We're exhaling, bringing right forearm to right thigh. So coming to our side angle pose. Reaching top arm up and over. We're thinking about creating a long diagonal line from the base of our left foot to the ankle, to the knee, to the hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist, and fingertips. We'll flow through our reverse warrior to side angle now. So inhaling, back to reverse warrior, sweeping that right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, right arm comes back down to the leg. So taking over this movement at our own pace. As we're moving back and forth. You might notice grounding sensation in our feet, our strong base that we can move freely from. You might notice the lightness in the upper body as we flow back and forth. And just observe these sensations. You don't necessarily need to do anything with that information. So the next time we find ourselves in reverse warrior, we'll pause. And then we're exhaling all the way down, hands windmill on either side of front foot. Pivoting on back toes, inhaling as we step our right foot back to plank. Vinyasa or straight to down dog. We're inhaling, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, we'll step or hop to forward fold. Inhaling as we lift halfway. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling to stand. Exhaling back to chair. We're going to flow through this chair sequence a few times. Inhaling, standing. Exhaling, folding. So I'll stop cueing verbally here. I'll still keep going with you. I want to give us a second to just find the movement organically in our bodies. Not be so concerned about doing some movement exactly when I say to do it. And enjoy moving for the sake of moving. Notice what that does to our minds. If it's quieting or if it's comforting. Stay with the breath. Once again, we might notice our points of contact to the mat. So that would be our feet here. Where we are grounded. Where we are feeling lightness. What muscles we are noticing moving the most or activating the most. So the next time we find ourselves in our forward fold, we'll meet there together. Take a few breaths. We'll flow through our warrior sequence one more time to each side. So we're inhaling, lifting halfway. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling all the way to standing. We're exhaling palms to heart, lunging back with right foot. So controlling that lunge the whole way back. We're inhaling, letting arms reach, growing tall. Exhaling to warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Let's flow a few times this way, moving with our individual breaths. The good thing about practicing in our own homes, no judgment. Don't have to feel self-conscious. Next time we're in reverse warrior, we'll pause here. And then we're exhaling all the way down. Pivoting on back foot. Inhaling, stepping our left foot back to plank. Vinyasa or straight to down dog from here. Inhaling, lifting the gaze. Exhaling, stepping or hopping forward fold. Inhaling, lifting halfway. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling to stand. Exhaling, palms to heart. Sending left foot back to lunge. Inhaling, reaching tall with the arms. Exhaling, warrior two. And then flow, reverse warrior, side angle. One more time, meeting in reverse warrior. So reaching back, exhaling all the way down. Pivoting on back toes, inhaling right foot back to plank. Vinyasa or straight to down dog. We'll inhale, lift the gaze. Exhale, we're walking our feet halfway. We're going to turn to face the long edge of our mat. You may be facing that way. And we're heel-toeing our feet to a wide stance. So finding ourselves in a wide-legged, standing forward fold. We'll walk our hands way out in front of us, angling our feet so that the edges of the feet are parallel to the sides of the mat. And then we're pressing our chest back towards the lower body for a wide leg down dog. We're inhaling, walking the hands back to the body. We'll heel-toe the feet back underneath us. And then inhaling, we're coming to standing with a cat back. So that's rounding through the spine, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. We'll take a couple of shoulder rolls at the top, really squeeze out, back and down. And then shifting our weight to our right leg. We cross left over right. We'll bring hands to prayer or to our hips, wherever we feel most balanced. We're going to take an easy expression of eagle pose. And so you have the option here to take it as deeply as you want it. So easy eagle pose, knees are crossed, we're sitting back, and toes of the crossed leg come down to the floor. If we want, we can leave the foot lifted, or we may be able to wrap it around our standing leg. The lower we sink, the better able we will be to do this. We want to add arms, we reach them out in front of us, and we cross left over right, no, right over left, wrapping forearms around and bringing left fingertips into right palm. We're inhaling, coming back to standing, unraveling everything. We'll shake out the standing leg. Shifting weight now. Oh, my mat's walked. Let's scoot it back a little bit. Shifting weight into our left leg. And crossing right over left. Hands at prayer, hands at the hips. Maybe toes are down. Maybe we wrap. Sink low on the exhales. We want to add arms. Extend them out, parallel to the floor. Got right under left. And then wrapping forearms around one another. Right fingertips into left palm. We're inhaling, unraveling, shaking out standing leg. We'll extend arms out in front of us, coming up onto our tippy toes. And we're lowering in a squat until we find ourselves seated on our mats. Sit back, bring the feet in front of us. Arms to our side, and find an easy expression of boat pose. So for us, that might mean toes on the floor. It might mean shins parallel to the floor. It might mean balancing or holding on to the legs. So wherever we feel like we are strong and we can sustain the pose for several breaths. So when we find where our limit is, where we can hold, we'll pause there. And then maybe we push ourselves past it just a little bit. So for me, that's extending the legs a little and then bringing it back in. If our toes are on the floor, we might pick the toes up and hold before dropping them. And maybe it's hands on the ground versus balancing. So wherever that, just right past the limit, we'll test and then bring it back. Do it just a few times. And then feet find the mat. We'll roll to our backs one vertebrae at a time. Scooping core in the whole way down. Feet come in closer to the glutes. Hands behind the head. We're exhaling, lifting shoulders off the mat, drawing belly button down to the spine. Inhaling, relaxing down. Exhaling, lifting, crunching inward, rib cage towards hip bones, belly button down. Inhale, lowering to the mat. Exhale, we crunch inward. Inhale, down. One more time. And then we're letting our hands come to our side. We'll hug knees to chest. Give ourselves a little rock side to side. And then we're rolling so that we're on our bellies. We're bringing underneath our shoulders. And we're going to do half bow pose a couple times on each side. So still working the core, getting a little bit of hip opening with it, and focusing on our back strength. So we're bending right leg and flexing the foot like we're going to stamp the foot on the ceiling. Left hand will come forearm parallel to the mat, and we're reaching back with right hand to grab hold of our ankle. So inhaling, we'll lift thigh off the mat so that our right hip presses firmly down, and we're pulling with the foot. So pulling the arm backwards as arm pulls the foot forward. If we feel any painful sensations in our knees, we may lower it back down. We might decide that this pose isn't for us, and that's okay. Also, be sure that we are flexing that foot to help activate the muscles around the knee to keep the knee safe. So lowering the knee back to the mat. We're switching the position of our arms. So now right forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Bending into left leg. Reaching back with the left arm. We inhale, lift the thigh off the mat. Left foot is pulling the arm back, arm is pulling left foot back in. So creating that dynamic tension. Exhaling as we lower, we'll go once more each side. Left forearm parallel to the mat. Right hand reaching back for right ankle. Inhale, lift the hip, or lift the thigh, hip presses into the mat. Pulling arm back, arm pulling leg forward. And exhale, lower, and inhale to switch. Inhale, lifting the thigh off the mat. We're holding for about 5 breaths. And lowering. We're pressing up to all fours and then to seated. We're going to get into some deeper stretches to the hips. So we're going to hold these a lot longer than we've held any of the other poses. We're going to come to fire log. So left shin is going to stay on the mat. Right shin is going to stack on top of it so that knees and ankles are on top of one another. So they're in line, shins parallel to the mat. And depending on how tight we are in our hips, we might have a lot of space right here between that top knee and the bottom ankle, and that's fine. As we hold the pose, we might notice that that space shrinks as our hips open up. If your body feels really uncomfortable here, I would like to suggest a seated pigeon pose where bottom foot just comes out and you make a figure 4 shape. You can also try cradle the baby where you hold top leg in the arm, knee is in the crook of the elbow, foot is in the other crook of the elbow. You also might try reclining pigeon. So that same shape, but lying down, and then you control how intensely the hips are feeling the pose by how closely you pull the legs towards the upper body. But if we're holding in our fire log pose, we might find that this is all we need. Some of you might be very flexible here and need to deepen it by folding forward. So you can press palms into the soles of the feet, elbows out. Inhale as you press. And then exhale, release the press and sink forward. And it might not be much of a movement. It may just be tiny, tiny little centimeters, millimeters that we move. And that's okay. We might decide not to fold forward at all. Keeping the shoulders soft, neck soft. Noticing if we're clenching our teeth. Trying to avoid doing that. Just hold and breath. Tune into the breath. Notice our thoughts at this time. We're staying with the breath. If our minds are beginning to wander as we're still in these poses. If that wandering is having any effect on our mood or our bodies. Notice if the deep breathing is aiding relaxation in the hip, and if shallow breathing may be keeping us stagnant. You can practice visualization of the breath, sending our inhales in space into the hip, exhaling away the tension. So we're inhaling to come out, and then exhaling as we reset the other way. So right on bottom, left on top. Completely normal to notice imbalances between sides. So one side might be much more open than the other side. And that could be for lots of different reasons. It could just be the way we stand or sit, use our body, that we cross one leg a lot. And so again, our variations here, if this isn't comfortable, is the figure 4 shape or cradle the baby. Foot goes into the crooked elbow, knee into the other elbow, and we hold the shin up towards the chest. Or we try reclining pigeon, figure 4 shape, lying back. So if we decide that this pose benefits from some folding, some hinging at the hips forward, we take the palms, pressing them into the soles of the feet. We inhale, press. Exhale, release and fold. You might notice that your body just naturally falls forward after the release of that tension that we filled up. And so it's more of a surrender than an active movement of the body. Noticing tension in the neck, and the shoulders. Kind of wiggle it out. Do some shoulder rolls. Now is also a good time to practice some self-massage. We can take our hands, bring them up to our shoulders to that trapezius muscle, thumb at the front, pointer finger and middle finger at the back, and squeeze. Maybe walk down the shoulders and then back up to the neck. Or just vary the pressure here. So squeeze tightly for a few breaths and then let it go. Squeeze and let it go. Bring our thumbs to the base of the skull, finding that bony ridge and placing our thumbs there on either side of our neck. And then move this thumbs in a circle, letting the circles move away from each other and then toward each other. Maybe walking the thumbs out towards the ears, right behind the earlobes. A little gentle pressure here, kind of at the back of the jaw. Also might go up that ridge at the back of the ear where the skull and the ear meet. Take our two peace fingers and bring them to the temples. Circle towards the front, gentle pressure. And then towards the back. Taking our thumb and forefinger to make a small pinching motion. You can pinch at the eyebrows, moving inward and then back out. So it shouldn't hurt. Should be taking enough flesh in between the fingers where we're actually not pinching to hurt ourselves. So finding stillness again. Taking one more deep breath, inhaling, exhaling. Let it all go, and we'll come to a comfortable seat. Before we come to our savasana, I'll walk us through a little bit of some alternate nostril breathing to help us calm down, to really let the mind kind of sink away from any distracting thoughts. So we're taking right hand, we're going to bring our middle or pointer finger or both fingers to the third eye, so that place between our eyebrows. We'll take thumb on the right nostril and then ring and pinky finger to left nostril. We'll begin by lifting our thumb away from the right nostril. We inhale through the right nostril, keeping the left nostril closed. Now we close right nostril with thumb, release left nostril, and then exhale through the left nostril. We inhale now through left, close the left, and then exhale through the right. Inhale through the right, close it, exhale through the left. Inhale, close, exhale. Inhaling through the right, close, exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, close the left nostril, exhale through the right. Inhale through right, close, exhale through left. So let's do this a few more times, unguided, just inhaling and exhaling through each side. So one more time. And then bringing hands to the sides or to our knees. We'll roll or send feet out in front of us so that we can roll to our backs one vertebrae at a time. So shoulders will relax away from the ears. We can keep our feet right where they are, especially if our low back is causing us any issues. Or we can extend the legs out. Maybe bring hands about a foot away from the body, palms up, facing the ceiling. Bring the breath back to an easy rhythm in and out of the body. Noticing our body's natural inclination to relax into this heaviness, to this stillness. Feeling our backs and our shoulders. Release any tension. Completely supported by the mat and the ground underneath us. We don't have to work to hold ourselves upright anymore. And before we have a few moments of silence in our Shavasana, I'll ask you to notice a part of your body that may be feeling warm right now. And if you don't notice anything, that's okay. We'll now notice a part of our bodies that is feeling cool or cold. And again, if we don't notice anything, that's okay. And now, if our eyes are not already closed, we'll close them. Quieting our minds by returning our focus to the breath. Letting the sensation of it in our bodies, of our bellies rising and falling, absorb any other thoughts that may come to us. And letting go, surrendering to the breath. And a sense of relaxation in both our minds and our bodies. We'll begin to wake ourselves back up, wiggling our fingers and toes, inhaling deeply. Might begin rotating wrists and ankles and letting these little movements turn into a big stretch on our mats. Pointing the toes, inhaling, reaching arms up overhead. We exhale, bring knees to chest. Wrapping our arms around shins or bringing hands to the backs of the thighs. We'll rock side to side, giving our low backs a massage or move knees in a big circle. Being sure to circle both directions. And when our backs feel good, we'll let our knees fall to whichever side they want to fall as we roll into a fetal position. And take a few deep breaths here before pressing up to seated when we're ready. We'll take one final breath together. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, palms to our heart. Thank you for joining me here on the internet tonight to practice yoga with me. I can feel your energy and it feels really nice to have this support and to be able to provide this for y'all. So thank you for practicing. Namaste. Thanks for sticking around, for hanging out through the Shavasana. I'll be sure to let y'all know and share all the appropriate links when we do this again. I plan to do it Thursday, same time. Namaste. Bye. And I'll see y'all around. Y'all stay well, stay safe. Bye.